advocacy and what VALS does. Aboriginal people continue to be overrepresented in prisons and the justice system more broadly, and this is a significant factor in the ongoing crisis of Aboriginal deaths in custody. VALS is committed to delivering holistic, culturally safe legal services. VALS also do significant advocacy to help change the systemic issues that have been marginalising Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people since invasion. The Victorian Aboriginal Legal Service was established in 1973 and plays a crucial role in helping Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people navigate through the justice system. So generally, your help in promoting our advocacy through donations and joining this cooking class is just a tremendous help to the overall achievement that we're as a business trying to do. So thank you again so much.
So a little bit about the cafe that Sharon owns is Cooee Cafe is an Indigenous owned catering and eatery in our Morning Peninsula in Victoria. Cooee Cafe serves authentic Indigenous food, flavours and dishes alongside regular Australian dishes. The cafe offers dine-in, takeaway and catering 6 days a week. And it also sells a range of Aboriginal infused products. So feel free to go on Cooee Cafe's website and get any of the Indigenous ingredients, which will make your cooking so much more amazing. And now a little bit about Sharon. So Sharon is a proud Noongar woman whose core purpose is to bring people together through food. She developed her love of cooking and knowledge in Coolidge with her grandmother, who would take her out to the bush and teach her how to live off the land. So Sharon told me a beautiful story, and she said that when she was younger, her mum sadly passed away and she did not learn how to cook through her mum, but she learned through her grandmother and through living out in the bush, and that just brought such a passion into her heart. And now she's so excited to share that passion with others and to help them understand how amazing it is to incorporate everyday ingredients, native ingredients that you can find in the bush and use them in your cooking. It's so healthy and it just changes everything. And that in turn, through Sharon's work, has educated people about our First Nations cuisines and history. So I'll hand over to Sharon, and now she's going to start taking you through the cooking class.
Hi everyone. Yes, thank you very much for that, for the intro. So sadly I did lose my mum when I was young, and so we ate tuna casserole, which was the first thing I learned to make at school for a long time. So I will never ever eat that again in my life. But in doing that and learning the experiences, one thing I did learn is that it's quite the skill to be cooking. I can see someone's already chopping away up there. Vicky's already getting into it. So, but first off, what I want to do is start the lemon myrtle. We're going to start the cookies, so the shortbread. So if everybody's got their things ready to start the shortbread, for those that are cooking along with me. So we have our butter. Sorry, I don't usually work to measurements, so I am going to read my measurements for it, but you guys have. Usually we just sort of put it all in. So if everybody's ready to start, and I'm going to have to, we just brought the good old beater from Kmart, so hopefully this isn't too loud on everybody. Maybe we'll have to work on that and having that there. For those that don't know lemon myrtle, this is the beautiful, you see, this is from my garden. It's such a beautiful plant. It's beautiful in teas. It's very good for you, very good for medicinal purposes, as well as just having, hi, how you going? Having in food. So very good for colds, flus, just all around general health. It's actually really good for depression as well, and moods. So that's why it's so good in teas. And this is the powdered form. I don't know if you can all see. So that's what we'll be using today. If you don't have lemon myrtle, that's fine. It was sort of, I suppose, we didn't have it to give out at this point in time. We're all learning, we're going through this. So next time round, we'll look at doing send out packs, so everybody has the ingredients that that, you know, that you can't find readily. And hopefully in doing more of these things, we'll be able to find it everywhere. That's the plan. So if everybody's ready to start, I've got my butter. So everyone's got their butter. It needs to be a little bit softened. So quick trick, if you can, if you need to, let me know. We'll put it in the microwave for 10, 20 seconds just to get it a little bit started so we can beat it. Otherwise it'll be too hard. So if everyone's off to do that, that's fine. I might do mine for another 10, 20. It's quite cold. Won't give that too long because you don't want it going too runny. So it's just really to start off that process because it's too hard. Now this is one of the easiest dishes. I chose a nice easy one to start, being my first time ever doing a Zoom cook-off. So please, yeah, sorry if I stuff up. It is my first time at doing this. And I'm not used to, I do it with my granddaughter at home all the time actually, but just not on the screen. So this is all new to me. So butter's in. Icing sugar. Has everyone got their icing sugar ready? So we've all got our icing sugar. Put that in as well. Just tip it in. Everyone's good for the next step. So now's when the noise begins, and I've never used this beater before, so if it flicks up, we're going to make a mess, but we'll give it a crack, eh?
How much icing sugar was there?
Oh, sorry, the icing sugar was 130 grams.
Thank you.
And the butter is 340 grams. So we're just mixing that up. We'll continue to mix that up until you want it to mix up until it's all mixed through nicely. That's actually quite a nice soft sound over my big loud voice. It's not too bad at all. So we'll just
has anyone converted the icing sugar into how many cups that is equivalent to?
Into cup form, icing sugar would be at roughly half a cup, and for the plain flour, 1 cup and an eighth of a cup. So just a nice good deep cup of the plain flour.
Half a cup. And
I can actually hear them.
Flour.
We're just feeding that. Want it to go sort of more like a whitey colour, which is going now. It's sort of creamy. So it's a nice cream.
Must be creaming the butter and the sugar.
Show you mine. We're looking quite good because we've cheated a little, which I always love a cheat. Because we've cheated a little and worked on our butter already, it's not too bad. So I'll show you mine. I'm going to stay there. Is that going to show? See how it's sort of like a nice white? Oh, we've got Vicky's doing it the old-fashioned way. Good job.
I can't find the blender.
Oh, improvising is always good, isn't it? So yes, did you want me to hold off then for you, Vicky? Because it's a nice, quick, easy one. So
2 minutes would be good.
Okay, I can talk underwater. So we're all good.
Are you using salted or unsalted butter?
I prefer to use salted only because I just always use salted butter. I don't tend to use unsalted at all, but that's personal preference, really. It is. Usually the other thing that I would do when it comes to my flour, we're hoping, like, this is a whole new kitchen for me, a whole new area. So we're hoping, I'm fingers crossed, everything's going to work out. But usually I would sift my flour, but I didn't. I brought everything as much as I could here, and I didn't have a sieve, so I'm not sifting my flour. I just find it gives a little bit better shape because it airs it out nicely. So usually if you're at home and you've got time to just give it a quick sieve, that would be fine. Now, how are you going there, Vicky? I can't see a lot more of you, sorry, because the participant thing's right in the centre, so I can only see a few of you. Yeah, I turned the oven on. Yeah, thank God. Now, all right, so that's there. The lemon myrtle. If you don't have lemon myrtle, add lemon. You can add anything to this. This lemon myrtle is one of those things that you can put in anything. I love it with chicken. I actually use it a lot. Dukkas, I make my own dukka. You just mix them all together and it makes a beautiful dukka. I roll cheeses in it. It's just beautiful. When you have it more in, if you are lucky enough to get it in the leaf form again, it's beautiful just to put one of them in with hot water and soak it and have as a tea at night. Good for the throat, like I was saying. Good for all the antioxidants. So All right, how are we going there? We're all good? I can see Leanne still mixing away too. Beautiful.
Sorry, I had my mixer on. Have we put the flour in already?
No, I haven't put the flour in yet. We don't need the mixer for the flour. It makes it a bit messy. We're gonna put that in with a normal, I suppose, spatula or spoon. So I'm just sort of waiting if everybody's sort of good.
Asking what temperature the oven would be at.
Oh, 180 for the oven. Now I've got my oven on now. When we do, the reason I started this one first is because once we've prepared all this and we've rolled it and we've got it on our tray, I like to sit them in the fridge. It gives them time to just do their thing. You know, they just sit there, they get time to rest, and that way it comes out better. Hopefully in this oven, which I've never used before. Once again, I'm saying. So with a lemon myrtle, it does say, I think what does it say? A tablespoon there. This is personal preference. I wrote this all down because I just make these at work. I don't really measure. So it was just me writing down. So you just sort of mix the lemon myrtle in. Like, I'll show you what I've done.
Sharon, another question.
Voila.
Is ground lemon myrtle stronger than fresh?
Yeah, yes, it is, because it's more compact. And so the powder is definitely, yeah, stronger. The fresh one in teas and that would be obviously stronger, but yes, I would say yes. Which do you have? Do you have the dried or the fresh? Sorry, I'm looking that way to test. I should be looking at you guys.
They said that they have ground lemon.
Yes.
Someone who's probably in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ground lemon's fine.
Ground lemon's fine. So once we've got that in, just mix all that one through. And then if everyone's caught up now, how are we going? We're ready to start doing the flour? Yeah. So if you sift your flour, yours will probably work out better than mine, but we slowly add it. So we'll just add sort of like maybe a third of it, and then we'll mix that through. It does sort of be gentle with it. I don't know if you can see me mixing. Once you get it to sort of like a paste consistency and you can't see the flour anymore, then we add a bit more. I'm quite impatient, so I tend to do this the other way and then I end up wearing it. So please don't follow my lead. I'll try and be good and not wear it today. So then we just mix that through again. It's starting to, you can see it's sort of starting to come together. These are a treat, obviously, with all this butter. It isn't something I'd recommend eating all the time as much as it. I will admit it's one of my weaknesses. I absolutely love them. Hence why I chose to make them today, because it's a nice treat. So it's slowly starting to thicken up the more we add our flour. How's everyone else's going? Yeah, we're getting there.
They're a great fundraiser.
Yeah, they would be, because I don't think people realize how easy they are to make. Like literally this one I chose here, as you saw in the recipe, it's literally 3 ingredients bar the native ingredient. So you can add whatever flavor. I did try doing these with a Davidson plum. It's a bit too much, the Davidson plum. So I think sticking with this, or actually in the cafe we make them with desert lime. So and that's probably my most favorite, but I thought it would be the hardest ingredient for you guys to get.
So do you use about the same amount of desert lime as you would lemon myrtle?
Probably a bit, because I have it freeze dried, so which is a lot stronger. So I mean, we do have all these things at Cooee. I'm trying to highlight Indigenous businesses on our webpage, and I've got, because I have a lot of these ingredients at the shop, but we're trying slowly to incorporate. I'm adding a little bit more flour. If you can see my mix here, it's still a little bit too soft, a bit tacky. See? So just adding a little bit more.
So some 2 questions that come in. One
Yep.
is, can you use gluten-free flour blend?
Ooh. With the gluten-free flour, I honestly have never tried it. With this recipe, I don't know if it would work. If you're familiar with using a gluten-free product, I just got a spoon. Sorry, guys. If you're familiar with using gluten-free products, it'd probably you find it similar. I know there's a few things that I have made where it's pretty much identical, but it's just a little.
I've used GF flour before, and I tend to use a little bit less because it seems to soak up more of any liquid. So I'll tend to just have a little bit less.
Yeah. So once we've got our flour, well, that's a good tip. I know with I've been making a few things with like wattle seed is one of those too that absorbs quicker, and so does the boab powder when we use that one too.
Another question is,
There's no, they're completely too. Sorry. Oh, sorry, I'm not sure. We've got to repeat the question. Sorry. Desert lime is not the same as finger lime. They're completely two different products, or plants, I should say. Finger lime has those beautiful pearls inside, and they come in a few different colors and are more like a I don't know, banana passion fruit sort of shape. And they grow on a vine like that, whereas the desert lime is more like your typical lime. I don't know terminology names, sorry, when it comes to all that. Now, has everybody got their mix looking? So yours is in a better bowl than mine, Vicky, because we're winging it here. I don't have scales. I didn't bring scales. So if it's a case and yours doesn't look like Vicky's, just keep adding flour. I didn't bring gloves either.
Being at home, it's easy just to use your hands.
Yeah, I'm using it. Usually at home, it'd be a different story altogether.
Yeah.
But I brought everything into VALS today to do it here. And because I've never done it before, there was a few key things that I'd forgotten. So excuse me for that. But once again, it's just all trial and error. Now, I've put some flour. You can't see me down here, but I've got flour on the actual table here.
Sorry, can you just show us the consistency of your again?
Consistency, thank you.
At the moment, mine's coming into a ball. I'll get it in my hand. It's coming into a ball, but it's still a bit tacky because then I'll be rolling it on here. And I don't want it with too much flour in it because I don't want it to go too hard because you want them to be nice and buttery and creamy. So get that aside. Can you see me down? Yeah, you can see me now down here. I'm just flour on the top. And then I just sort of play with it a bit until I get it where I want, which I think Vicky's already at and she's probably already got hers resting.
This question was about cinnamon myrtle. Have you used that before in your recipe?
In this recipe, no. Cinnamon myrtle, I find it isn't that strong in flavour, the ones that I've been working with. I use it in cakes, but I usually use other products as well. We do mix it with our chais at work on top, but it's not too overly strong, the one that I have anyway. I don't have it fresh. I only get that one. I buy that one in. So we're at a nice soft, see, consistency here. So we've made a nice big mess here on the table. Has everybody got a rolling pin? Vicky, yours is zooming ahead there. What are you doing?
I'm trying to clean up to make a space.
All right. So if everyone's got theirs, we're giving it a bit of a knead. We've got a nice soft, here I'm starting to get it on myself now, consistency. We're all at the same space. I'll wait for a few of you coming through. Now, once we've got it into a nice ball, I'm just going to give my hands a quick wash for everyone to catch up. How are we all going? You're rolling yours out, Vicky. You're on it. I've still got mine on the ball. And what I'm going to do is, because it is lovely and soft, and I'm going to just let it rest for a little bit. So I've got my Glad wrap. Doesn't matter if you don't have Glad wrap, just whack it in a bowl. and we're going to let that sit in the fridge. So there's my little ball, all done. I'm going to set that aside. I'll put that in the fridge now, and I'll tidy up my mess here.
How long will you leave it to rest for?
Probably, see, roughly about 20 minutes or so. I chose to do it now so we can let it rest. So then when we get our next dish happening, we can sort of roll them out and then put them in the oven after that. So they sort of just needs to all come together. So 20 minutes or so should be fine. Now we'll wipe this up.
And what temperature is the oven? Because mine takes a while to heat up.
That's fine. Put it on 180 now then while we're cleaning up. And
oh, great. Fan forced?
Yes, please. It's actually nice cooking in real time. It sort of like reminds me of when I stand here, because I do this a lot with my granddaughter. So it's pretty much the same. It's very empowering being able to cook. And once you realize like how easy a lot of these dishes are to make, it's it definitely boosts your confidence, you know, like to get out there and just try and experiment and play with new foods as well. How are we all going? All good? Who's still rolling theirs up? Everyone's all good now? Yep. Perfect. You got yours out, Vic? Vicky, you there?
It's in the fridge.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Is this too soft? I feel like it still sticks to my finger, so it's probably too soft.
It probably is still a bit soft. Just more flour. Just grab a handful of flour. Just sprinkle it over the top. Give it a little bit more of a roll. Once we bring it out of the fridge, we'll be rolling it again in flour, so it'll harden up a little bit more as well. That's why I don't tend to do it too much, like at this point, because there'll be more flour coming once we make our next lot of mess. We should have done this a bit later in the afternoon. Then we could have just all sat down and had dinner. That would have been great. So once we've done all this, we'll start preparing for our next dish. So no hurry, everyone's fine. With the next dish, it's one of my all-time favorites for the simple fact that it's, once again, it's so simple, so versatile. You can make it vegetarian, you can change the meat. You probably saw in the recipe that I use the carnation milk, which my nan used to use a lot, and I think that's where I got that trick. It's, yeah, this one.
Okay, where did you put that bush sauce?
Sorry? I wasn't sure who that was.
Sorry, that was me. I was yelling at my husband.
Oh. That's why I didn't bring mine. I didn't want to have to yell at him. So
I'm just borrowing it for the time.
oh, lovely. But yeah, so the carnation milk, it's such an easy product to work with. It doesn't split. It's got its own unique flavor. It's a lot lighter on the tummy. I find cream is really heavy on my tummy. It's heavy on a lot of mobs' tummy, actually, cream. And you can, I just love it. I use it in everything. So if everyone's got all theirs in the fridge now, yeah, beautiful. No, you're right. Take your time. I told you I can talk underwater. We can definitely have a chat. So I brought in some from home too in my garden. I have this saltbush. See this one here? This is my variety of ruby saltbush. Once again, I don't know the technical names to it, but I use that.
Sharon, what else could we use in lieu of saltbush?
For the next dish?
Yeah.
Well, it's really just sort of coming across as from your point of view of herbs. So instead of using, say, you've mixed herbs, like if you had...
I've got bush spice.
You've got what, sorry?
Bush spice.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Just don't use as much because it's probably got a few flavors in there that are quite strong.
Right. Okay, thank you.
The native thyme, see the little, can you see the pretty leaf?
Oh.
So that's from my garden. Surprisingly, I didn't know they grew as large as they did. So my bush is as tall as me.
Where can you buy these in Melbourne?
As plants, sadly, sorry to say, I brought mine at Bunnings.
Yeah, Bunnings have got it.
Yeah, sorry?
Bunnings have got it.
Yeah, Bunnings have got it. That's where I brought mine. So I couldn't support Mob on buying this. Yeah, the salt, which I did as well. Down our way, I know that there's Willamarine have started growing some plants now. So there's Mob to get some from down my way.
What about Ceres?
Sorry?
Ceres might have it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And I know Peppermint Ridge, they stock a lot of the native products as well. I think it's Peppermint Ridge. But this very, very strong. You don't need much at all. So and like,
is that the salt bush?
No, this is the native thyme.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It's sort of like they do class it as style of mint, but to be honest, it tastes nothing like mint. It's lovely with chicken. I absolutely love it with chicken. I use it loads. So with chicken, it's just, I don't know, but I'm not really a red meat eater. So everything goes well with chicken for me. But a lot of these flavors you'll find you can utilize in everything. They're also great in a savory muffin. Like when you make a savory muffin, I was making a lot of them for a company during COVID. And we were making like 500 a day and sending them out to this company. And I was using this and people were loving it and not knowing what the flavor was. Obviously, then I told them to highlight the star of the dish. But yeah, it's definitely beautiful. So if everyone's ready to start the next dish, I haven't prepared everything because I thought we could do it together. Everyone's good to start. How are we going there?
I'm not cooking this one because I don't eat chicken, so I didn't get the ingredients. I'll watch. You should have just got some like eggplant or just done extra mushrooms, or broccolini is delicious in dishes like this. That's what I mean. You can alter and put in anything. Like, yeah, she's going to take some notes and write it down, but you could definitely be great as a vegetarian dish as well. All right. And can I just ask one question? You know how when you're using spices, you really need fats in order to bring the flavour out? Is it the same with these as well? Do you need, like I use ghee a lot?
Yeah, I think that's more with your Indian spices that you need to bring out the fats. Yeah, we've got Commissioner nodding away there. Hello, how are you? How am I going after yesterday saying to you I was so nervous?
Awesome, I'm loving it.
But no, these our spices are more like you would use, like if you were using dried oregano or your dried parsleys, in the way of when you're using them as a dried product. And obviously fresh is always best to use at the end of a dish anyway to bring out the flavour at the last minute. Okay, the fried at the start always.
I have a question. I wasn't organized enough to get the native thyme. I brought the normal thyme. But I've got lots of different myrtles and all freeze dried. Is there any substitute I can use instead of thyme, or do I just stick with the normal thyme that's here?
What Indigenous flavors have you got there?
I've got all of the myrtles. I've got the wattle seed. I've got the peppers, the saltbush.
Peppers and saltbush. Like I'm putting saltbush in ours. You're going to use, if you've got the pepperberry, obviously be very light with it. It's a very strong flavour once again.
Love it. Yeah,
it is good. Woo, you can knock your socks off if you put it.
I've also got all the Davidson plums and all of those ones, the myrtles and stuff, and the Guangdong peach and all that, but I didn't think that would go in the pasta.
No, not really with this dish. You could experiment with your shortbreads with some of those flavours. Yeah, definitely. But to get out there.
I've never made any biscuit before, so I'm really struggling with the first one.
That's all right. I hope it works in the oven here. So if yours look better than mine, I'm just claiming yours, all right? So but if we're ready to start on this next one, then I've sort of I wanted to do a hack, and I don't know, I'm hoping you all know, but if you don't, a wet chucks or a tea towel, so no one's cutting themselves today when your board goes slipping out. Put that down, and then your board down. It won't move. So we're nice and solid. I'm going to cut my chicken last because I don't like using the board after any meats or anything. So that'll be the last thing I touch. So if everyone wants to prep with me, once again, I've got, thank you very much, my lovely assistants. I've got the mushrooms. Now, this is obviously, once again, this is a dish that I just make and I've been making for years. When I was younger, I had my kids really young and we didn't have a lot of money. So dishes like this was something that I could like whip together and make. And it was like a hearty dish that was nice and filling and, you know, fed the tummies when you had to stretch things out. So you could do this and you could even serve it with rice. It's another one where the rice sops it up lovely. This, the carnation milk too, nice little hack, makes a beautiful garlic prawn. So no fancy way. I'm not going to go chop, chop, chop. Sounding amazing. Mushroom.
You just slice up the mushrooms.
Yeah, just slice thin as you want.
Sharon, we have some questions. The first one is, can you use any variety of saltbush?
Can I use any variety of saltbush in this? Yes. So a lot of the, like you could use saltbush, pepperberry, pepper leaf. That's another one, a good one that's also quite strong. You can use some of your myrtles.
Someone mentioned old man saltbush.
Old man saltbush would be fine. Have you got that? If you've got that fresh, obviously that would go on a little bit later in the dish. But if you've got it where
Did you cut that like cafe lime leaf and put it in?
oh yeah, I can hear. I'm looking down there looking for someone talking to me.
Like julienne and put it in.
If you wanted to do the kaffir lime, you could, but
No, with the old man saltbush, would you cut it up like kaffir lime leaf?
oh yes, you would. You would cut that up, like if you've got that fresh, yeah, definitely cut it up and just like at the last minute for that one. I don't know if that's questions coming through or not.
Next one is, do you know anything about Melbourne bush food? Do they support mobs?
Do they what, sorry?
Support any mobs? Melbourne bush food. Someone's asked if you know anything about that.
I don't really particularly know too much about Melbourne bush foods other than my parents always told me if you haven't got anything nice to say, maybe you don't say anything at all. In the way that I like to try my best to support mob. I do know that there are a couple of uni students that are running that. I do know that I, as an Indigenous business, it's sort of, I suppose in a way they are my direct competition. I have chocolates and I have native ingredients. So yeah, they do sell stuff. It would be nice and I would love, and you know, I go on mob feeds all the time. And what I would love is for more people to be supporting Indigenous businesses so we can all grow. We all know that we're only at 3% growth, 3% is owned by mob. And so to be able to change that, I think we really need to start buying from all the little suppliers. I'm pretty transparent when if I can't buy something from mob, I can't. That's how it is. Then you do buy. But if you can, please do, because it's giving back. It's helping grow us as an economy. And hopefully I'm trying to get to that point where we sort of lead, where we take over, not take over, but where we have a bit more ownership. Yeah, I still like taking over, but yeah, where we have a little bit more ownership over it. And you know, I've had people come to the cafe all the time offering to sell me stuff, and I try and avoid it if possible. And so if you know anyone that I can support as well, like that goes both ways. If you know someone that's selling stuff, throw them my way. Just seriously throw them my way, because it is hard trying to find mob to buy stuff off, because a lot of those bigger companies do buy in bulk, and it sort of like cuts us out as, you know, smaller businesses to be able to support. So that's my take on that. Now I've got a nice big bowl of mushrooms here. Once again, any veggies, broccolini is great in this on the side. We're going to be cooking here anyway, I think, so it's all fine here. While I've got everyone, we need 2 eggs, but we only need, where am I?
Are we putting this in a bowl, Sharon?
Yeah, I've got my bowl here, and what I'm going to do now is separate my egg from my egg yolks. So I'm just going to have 2 eggs. If you want to keep your egg whites, go ahead and make yourself a meringue later and maybe use your cinnamon myrtle that you've got. and whip that up and make something else a bit later. But for now, I'm just going to be putting it aside and I'm only using the yolks. So we'll just crack them and get them ready. Special camera effects here now. Woo!
So we do both of them?
Both of them. And then just have that aside. Just so we're all doing the same steps at the same time. It's so different doing this and sort of like working with people rather than just doing this at home and having my little Tasmanian devil attack in the kitchen. I'm just running around. It's quite nice doing it a little slower. Okay, so I've got my eggs aside. What else do I need? Who has garlic that needs? Someone's clanging and banging. Who has garlic that needs to be crushed? Yeah, I've got a whole garlic. So obviously the trick to it, knife on your side, if you can see me. Press, makes life so much easier to break that off. And then just cut the butt off. Actually, I'll start again because this one here, see how it's got brown on it? It gives it a horrible taste when you're cooking. It's not nice. So if you get that, just discard. It's just a little bad bit and just grab another one. And wow, this is the wrong one. Yeah, we've got another piece over there.
How much garlic are we using?
How much garlic? Thank you. Kakadu, why am I getting asked all these questions on it? Kakadu Plum and Co. A non-Indigenous company as well. All right, Indigenous companies. Let's go. Indigigrow. There's Indigigrow. Have we all heard of Indigigrow? They have some great products. Sharon, Indigi-Earth, Sharon Windsor. They're more up Queensland way, but they have some great products. Bush Candy, or Bush Lolly, actually. They're in Western Australia. Something Wild. Oh, okay. Yep, Something Wild. And hopefully myself as we start to progress. I'm in the process of getting things and so we can start selling to the public. Like I sell to chefs and stuff, but haven't got a public product yet.
Can you show us what you've done so far in your bowl?
I've talked a lot, but not much. So all I've done really is I'm prepping. So I've got my mushrooms because once we start, it'll be just all in. I've got my mushrooms, my egg. I've got some cheese in a bowl. I've washed my spring onion. Important, wash, because up the sides you get, it might look clean, but you get those gritty bits. I've got my garlic, which we're about to pop apart here now. Another good hack. I don't have a sea salt, but another good hack with the garlic is salt. Yes. So put a little bit of salt on it. Knife on the side again. So I had 2 little cloves there. So if you've got a big clove, once again, it comes to taste. If you want to put a heap in, go for it. So I love garlic, but it's not really my friend. And no one else is my friend once I've had garlic either, because they don't like the smell. But
so you said that you're selling a lot to chefs at the moment. When are you going to be releasing products to the public?
Hopefully, I mean, it comes down to cost and getting some packaging happening. So I'm hoping over the next few months to have them sort of up and running by Chrissy. So I'm trying to work, and that's why I said, if you know anyone that's selling stuff, please throw my way, because I'm trying to work on growing us mob into something bigger. Like if we all do it, I know. Actually, another one that has product is Mabu Mabu, and she's in the city. So check her out as well. She has quite a bit of product there. Okay, so garlic's ready. Just give the knife a bit of a wash. Okay, everyone ready to cut spring onion? Sorry if I'm going too slow, too fast. I'm trying to make sure that it's sort of incorporating all. Thank you. So spring onion, I'll be putting I'm cutting that up now. Like I'm cutting the white a bit, and sort of like a little bit up the stalk. I'll be putting in with the dish as we're cooking, and then I'll be saving some of the greener bit for the end for our garnish, so we look all like, you know, professional. Where am I? I'll get another bowl, plate. So spring onion, maybe half a centimetre thick or so. Really, if you want to use brown onion or a red onion in this, either. I personally don't eat them, so sorry, I didn't even think to put in the dish. It's a bit too heavy on my tummy. But the spring onions, usually it's a great one for all, and it's got a nice mild taste. Okay, we've got all that ready. Is anyone using any other vegetables, or we just sticking with my mushrooms today? I thought I'd keep it sort of nice and simple. Once you go away with this dish, you can go crazy. It's a good way of slipping all the veggies in if you've got kids. Fettuccine. We'll have to do a pasta one, like a bush tomato pasta one time with spaghetti. That's how I got all the veggies into the kids. So good. They never knew. The fettuccine, I like to use a thicker, whatever you have, whatever you use. I just like to use like a thicker, softer one that cook a bit quicker. So I have that ready. Everything's ready here. Now we should be, I've got my salt bush. I've got them dried. Salt bush, which we saw the fresh. If you look at my garden, what my garden produced. So this is actually a ruby saltbush here variety, but the actual one I've got in dried is the old man saltbush. So there's the two different varieties there.
If you use fresh, would you just chop them up and that's fine to use? Or
well, I'm going to chop up some of the fresh to put on top and chuck through, because it's sort of like it has that like a nice thicker texture, and so it definitely adds a bit of depth to the flavor as well. So yeah, definitely. But added in at the last, like you would your spring onion, like nearer to the end of the dish. So you still get to taste it and get the benefits from it as well. Native thyme, same thing. If I was using this one here, I'd use it at the end of the dish, but I'll put this in when I'm starting to cook off all the chicken. I'll chuck these in so they cook through and give a bit more flavor. Salt and pepper to taste. So they're right here. Now, has everybody got a pot on with their water? So we'll get our pot on now to get our water so it's at a nice temperature to be able to cook that, so it's all ready to go. Some salt, a nice amount of salt actually. Probably about just under a flat teaspoon. So not a raised one, just like a good pinch. When they say pinch, like I mean palm. So I'll show you actually. Can you see? So and that's just salted to give it flavour and bring out the flavours there. So I'll get this on now. How am I going for time? I can talk a lot. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. All right. So we need to get cracking. How do I turn that one on? I can talk more than I thought. Here I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to cook here. Chicken. So now, if everyone's ready, they're plugging me in. So my water's on, I think. I need that fan. My water's on. I'm going to move my chicken down a bit and just put the pot. I've got this one here because I'm cooking for you guys today. Usually I'd be in the kitchen at work, so I'd be cooking on my stove. But everything's ready to go now. Woo, we're all good. Chicken. I like thigh. If you like breast, I'm sure you brought breast if you like breast.
So are we going to fry up the chicken, Sharon?
Sorry?
Are we going to cook up the chicken?
Yeah. If you've got everything else ready, you've got your water on?
Yep.
Yep. And so we've got the water boiling now, because then this can rest here and then we can chuck our fettuccine straight in here.
Right.
So I've got this on. This is a bit temperamental too, but it's like all I could bring from home to here. And if everyone's ready and everything else is chopped, yeah, I'm going to cut the chicken. So it's the last thing, because then it's the last thing on my board. And like I said, if you like breast, go for it. With the thigh, I cut off all those little extra bits of fat, just because any bits that are a bit yucky to neaten you up. I'll show you roughly
Oh, jackfruit.
We're putting some oil in the.
Yeah, I'm putting some oil in the pan, and I didn't bring oil, so I won't be. But what I will use then is I'll use some of my fat from the chicken. See, this is what happens when you come into the city to cook and you're not in your kitchen. It's not all there handy for you. You guys wouldn't have oil, would you? You wouldn't be doing cook-ups here. So yes, I'll be cutting my fat off and putting that in now actually.
Have we turned the fry pan on?
Yeah, turn it on. It depends, like my one needs to warm up a bit because I've got the electric one happening. If you want to put yours on now, I'm just putting some of my chicken fat in to hopefully give me a little bit of moisture. Lucky I pressed it, eh? Because it's got a bit more moisture in it. How's everyone going? Yeah, I know. I didn't have brekkie either. Like I was so nervous coming onto this. Like I had 3 coffees, and I think it had the reverse effect. And then, but it took away my nerves because I was just like too busy, like having too many coffees to get nervous. So far, I'm not too nervous. I'm doing all right, I think. I don't know. You will be the judge of that.
So if you didn't use chicken, what can you use instead of in lieu of chicken? Did somebody say aubergine or like?
Yeah, like eggplant. If you wanted to do this vegetarian, you could use any of the vegetables. Eggplant, zucchini, sort of like would go through. I've made this vegetarian before for friends. I'm just going to wash my chicken hand.
I've got jackfruit.
Jackfruit.
Yeah, I've never worked.
Is that similar in the way of texture? It's very neat.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Oh, is that similar in the way? Yeah, actually, there used to be a girl who worked for me that would have jackfruit a lot. I've never myself did it.
It's a lovely texture.
What was the product? Sorry.
Jackfruit.
Oh. So I work in a school, so I often work with students, and all they want to do is cook.
Good.
So it's good to have alternatives because unless it's fresh out of the garden, we're often not allowed to use it because it's too expensive. The budget won't.
Well, even, and obviously you could sort of go with seasonal, I suppose, of what was sort of like cheaper at the time. But it definitely would be more of those like those vegetables like the eggplant, which they're sort of a bit expensive at the moment, the eggplants and the zucchinis. Sweet potato or pumpkin you could sort of use, but it would obviously have to be cooked a little differently. But it's just trial and error really. Once you've got the base, and you know Vegeta or Vegeta, depends who says it, that's your best friend. If you put that in the cupboard, you may as well go on MasterChef. It's great. It's one of those things like we use it in everything. It's vegetarian as well. So, but it gives the best flavors to everything. It just brings everything together, keeps it nice and simple. So my chicken's just turning white now. I don't know if you can see this here. It smells good though. I'm hungry. So we're just sort of flipping around. So now I'm gonna add my mushies so they can cook along with. My worry is here. That's not gonna be. But that's not gonna be hot enough. So we'll be putting our pasta in soon. Oh, to be honest with you, I don't know. I think, seeing as I like I said earlier that I was, I'm gonna put my saltbush and native thyme in now. Just sprinkles, or if you've got any other herbs that are dried, now's the time to sort of get them in. Since I did lack that, which it all comes down to confidence. So if you don't have that confidence, like when you are cooking, it definitely does hinder you. So since I didn't have that, I feel that it is something I probably will look at down the track, because now I feel it's maybe my way of giving back is teaching others how to cook the skill I didn't have, and then I had to teach myself, which to be honest is so scary when you don't know what you're doing and you're trying to make dishes, and I make dishes all the time that are wrong, that don't work, and that you just got to sort of move on from that and just keep trying new things. And once you get like a base, now I'm adding in. We have a stock cubes here, but now you're adding your baguette as well.
The what?
Baguette or stock cube. That's just to give that extra bit of base. I watched the Tony Oliver. I love watching him. He's so passionate when he cooks. He's amazing. But he has some great little hacks. Like if you make potato bake, and you're not vegetarian, obviously, a great trick to making a potato bake is garlic can go in. You don't want to burn that and put it in too early. I never like to put that in too early. If you're using stock cubes, just one. Baguette.
Is it baguette or baguette? What?
Oh, it's like potato. It's however I say baguette, but I think it's
baguette.
Yeah, it's VEGETA, I think. And yeah.
All of it in, Sharon?
Sorry?
Do we put all of it in?
No. You put like a good pinch of baguette in, like just a flat teaspoon, like a nice pinch, not too strong. Now this is
flat teaspoon.
I can't hear once I'm cooking properly, so I might need you to see. Yeah, definitely flat, no rose teaspoon.
Sorry, just to catch up, we put the chicken, the mushroom, the stock. Have you put anything else in yet?
Yeah, I've got the garlic in there, and I've put my dried herbs, any dried herbs that you're using. So you'd be putting your pepper berry or pepper leaves in now, and that'd smell amazing coming through. Actually, I can smell my thyme coming through here. It's like I'm getting like a facial as I'm talking to you. I don't know if you can see that. See? Free facial. So the trouble is now you should be putting your pasta in probably now as well. We're waiting for our water in real time. This is what I didn't prepare one earlier. Put the lid on. Get a few bubbles with that now. So we could turn this down on low. Everybody's up to date with me. You're not cooking, Shelley. Shelley. I was going to ring you before this, Shelley, to get some guidance on talking in public.
Very good. Have you put the old man salt bush as well?
Is it fresh or dried?
Dried.
Dried, yes. Put it in now then. Yep. So now I've turned mine right down because, due to not having like one I prepared earlier in real life, my water's not quite ready at temp yet. But so I've turned it down, but then I'm just going to start letting it simmer. So this tin, we'll put in about half the tin. Just once again, my good old measurements.
In the pan with the chicken.
Straight in. It's all one pot. It's a one pot wonder.
Can you just lift up what you've got going, Sharon?
Oh, maybe they'll come to me. Come down. Can't really lift it up.
Now you haven't put the fettuccine in yet.
No.
No.
Fettuccine, if your water's good to go, chuck your fettuccine in.
Right.
Like I'm going to be turning this down in a minute because this is pretty much done. So I'm going to turn that on. I'm chucking in the whites of my spring onion, the first lot of spring onion that I chopped. That can go in now.
How much of the carnation milk did you put in?
About half a tin. Right. And you want it so it's like on my electric one I've only got it on one now, so it's sort of steaming and letting off a bit of steam, so it's reducing a bit, but it's not boiling, so it's just sort of like very hard to measure here. Can you see it? No, you can't really see too well there, sorry guys. We've got a little bit of bubbling happening. Now I've got my cheese. I had to choose that one. I've got my eggs, and I've got my greens from the top. Everything else now I've turned down to really low, if not off, because we're going to have to get that pasta cooking. And what we salted the water? Yeah, I've already salted the water. Yep, we did a nice palm of salt in the water. Okay, so that's sitting there, done. That's how easy that bit was. Once again, if you
go in,
sorry,
do we put the cheese in?
No, not yet. All that'll come like at the last minute once the pasta's all done.
Right, got it.
So that all that part there now, if your chicken's like nicely cooked, everything's just sort of sitting there ready. We'll wait till the last minute, then we'll add our cheese, our eggs, our egg yolks, and then garnish and and our pasta. So we're going to put our pasta in now. I think my water's at temp. So my water's bubbling there. Put that in. Now, if you're going to put the lid on, put it on a jar and just keep an eye on that it doesn't go bubbling over. There's nothing worse than having to clean that up off the stove when you're done. And then we'll just get rid of our boards and tidy up a bit again. I'm hoping I'm going to have enough time to get this done. Half an hour. 12 o'clock now. Oh, time flies when you're having fun, eh? So if everybody's up to date and with that there, well, that's cooking. If we want to start rolling out our shortbread, everyone's fine with that? Yeah, this here, it's 9-10 minutes roughly. I've just lined a board to go in the oven. We have got all that on. For a minute. So this is like multitasking at its best. 2 dishes in one, eh? So, see, it's a lot harder now. If you get it out of the fridge, you'll find what I mean. It's a lot harder and easier to sort of work with. Get some more flour. Where did that flour go? Thank you. I hope everyone's washed their hands. They're all nice and clean after doing all the chicken. And last thing I want is anyone getting salmonella. Pasta, see, look, this is what I mean. It's cooking now ferociously, so we'll take the lid off. I've also got my sieve sitting in the sink. So I'm ready. Got my rolling pin now. I've floured the table. I'll flour my rolling pin so there's no sticking. Oh, that did go nice and hard. Might need to give it a little bit more work when we get it out. Just to get it pliable again if it's gone a bit too hard, which mine did. You're getting rid of that one for me?
Give it a little bit closer.
Yum.
If it's sticking, which mine was sticking, oh yeah, be careful you don't burn yourself. Sticking a bit with that, just flour. Good. That's what I mean. That's why I didn't want to over flour earlier, because I tend to use a bit more flour here as well.
Tess, hello Tess. I've missed the beginning when you did that shortbread pastry. Could you just very quickly tell me how you made that pastry?
Oh, it was the actual ingredients. So we beat together 340 grams of butter. That was we quickly did a little preheat in the oven, microwave about 15 seconds or so just to get it pliable.
Yeah.
With half a cup of icing sugar, mix that so it went nice and white, so a nice creamed consistency, and then folded in the flour, which was a heavy cup or a cup and an eighth. So, and we folded that through, and then any ingredients. So we've got native thyme. Sorry, no, we haven't got that in here yet. We've got lemon myrtle in here, but you could use whatever you like.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Now I've rolled it out to a meter roughly. You can do whatever you want in that way there.
Sorry, Sharon.
Sorry.
What did you roll it out to?
I rolled it out to, it's sort of roughly a centimetre.
Oh, good.
You can do it to whatever consistency you like. And once again, this is one of those things you can do whatever shape you wanted. Please don't try emu. I got some cutters for my granddaughter, which I thought were like cool as to work with it, but they're just too hard. With that neck, you can't get it out. So I stick with a round one, or like I'll do one now for you. See, that's so. Or if you don't have anything, we can get a good old butter knife. If you don't have a cutter, good old butter knife, and just cut them. You can do squares, whatever you like.
I'm just using a wine glass, ready for later.
Yeah, it's handy. It's another way of using a wine glass, isn't it? And then later you can finish it off properly. So it's a little bit more rustic for me cutting it right there in front of you guys, but wine glass would be fantastic. Doesn't have to be wine glass either. Our pasta is nearly going to be ready. Perfect. Now, if you are doing it, obviously, and you're using a cutter, obviously you can just rework it again. You just start again, rolling it out just gently. I only try and use one palm, but I use the other one as my guide, just so I don't, go a bit too crazy. Getting it stuck in the board a bit, so a bit more flour. And it's a beautiful, there's the ball again, back to the ball. Putting a little bit more on the rolling pin.
Fun stuff.
This is the fun stuff. I tell you now, like, don't try and eat this, because once you do, you can't stop, because it's so good this way. Like, oh, I love it like this. It's not good for the tummy, but wow, it tastes good like this. I love butter though, anything with butter. Now I only have the one tray, so I've just done my one lot.
Sharon, do they spread?
Sorry?
Will they spread out?
They don't really spread, no. So I wouldn't do them too close, because you want to give them room to like do their thing.
Yep.
They tend not to spread. So that'll be it with me doing that. So I'm going to put that aside now. I'll let you finish. I'll wash my hands.
Oh. It's right under my feet.
We just whack them in the oven?
Yeah, if everyone's good, look at you go. We'll whack them in the oven now. Hopefully the oven's, like, once again, if yours look better than mine, I'm using yours for the cover shot. But I'm whacking them in this oven. Yeah, it's on the middle. Heat rises, so you sort of want them like centered. I'm very lucky that I have a combi oven at work. So mine I just put in there and I put on for 9 minutes, and they just come out perfect every time. So using this different oven, I'm gonna do 9 minutes. We're gonna do that and we're gonna have a look at them. But while that's happening, let everyone let me know when you're up to me. Yep, we're all standing around. We're all good.
Oh God, no, I'm not.
Oh, keep going. That's right. I've made a massive mess here on the bench, so I'll clean that up when you're ready anyway. And if everyone's pasta's ready, it should be coming close to being ready. We can just pour that and sit it in the sink. Multitasking. If you've got everything ready in advance, it's so easy to just like whack it all together at the last minute. So clean up.
What temperature was the oven?
180.
Thank you.
No worries. I'd say my pasta's probably ready. Do you hold me? No, that's no. I don't. No. If you want to do holes or a pretty pattern or anything on top of your shortbread, go for it. Like some people like to do swirls, and maybe it would look really cool if you just sort of did some dot work on there and put some colours on it. Put some
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, that'd look awesome. I'd love to see that. You could post yours make some later and post them up to Cooee. All right, I'll check on the pasta first. Now to check your pasta, I've got my tongs. You want it how they say al dente?
Yeah, I
Ah, cool. I'll be using my fingers just as I would at home. But this has still got a couple more minutes. It's sort of like if you're using those fresh ones, it's sort of just turning color now, but it still needs that little bit more. If you're using one of the more dried ones, you probably need a little bit longer on that, so we can work on that. So in the meantime, hey, we'll talk about me. Why not? This here is my other company, which when you talked about Melbourne Bush Foods earlier, they are my direct competition with my chocolate. So I have my own chocolate, Jolly Jolly Treats. That's my language, meaning very good. And the turtle's my totem. So this is mine. We've got a few new flavors coming out. At the moment, we've got Davidson Plum in the white and lemon myrtle. I don't have as much money and backing as them because I'm not a social enterprise. Mine's against my house. So for every block you buy, it helps pay off my mortgage. So, and as I get bigger, we plan on sort of really ramping that up and working with a lot more mob and getting those flavors in there.
Sharon?
Yeah.
Do you, what was I going to ask? Oh, I went on the website for the shop and a lot of the stock is out of stock at the moment.
Yeah, because we're just getting too popular.
Oh, okay.
No, I think because well, we lost all of our catering. Like I lost like literally about 30 grand in catering through Rec Week.
Yeah. Oh, okay, right, got it.
We lost a lot. So I think a lot of people went online and brought a lot of products. So on Cooee, we're just sort of restocking now. We use a lot of Annie Dale stuff. We have a lot of Sharon stuff. Oh, there's another one that has it. Our Dilly Bag has stock. So and anyone that's like on our website is an Indigenous business. At the moment, I'm trying to keep it to food or food related boards. I've got Mick and Nicole, the Dancing Wombat, you know, their products there, and I'm trying to keep it sort of that way. But you can trust that I've done the research as best I can, and don't please if there's one on there that you know is definitely not, pull me up for sure, because I don't want them on my page. I want to support us mob. I want us to be able to thrive in business. So the sad thing is, like in Victoria, say most of my stock I'm buying from Queensland. So I want to really empower us Victorian mob at trying to bring out new products and, you know, working together through that. So I stock Mabu stuff there. Hopefully I'll start bringing out my own. There's another company called Street Feast. You should be backing them too. Like they're a great company. They can come out and do all your cook-ups at any weddings or any functions like that. They also got hit hard through COVID. So there's some mob out there that really, really need your support. So if you're having a wedding, if you're getting married or any party or event, yeah, give them a call because they would really appreciate the business. So pasta, how's it going here? My pasta's ready. Not sure on all yours, but I'm going to take my pasta now and put it in the sink. I suppose I should teach you safety. So I've got my middies on. At work, I'd probably just do it and swear. How good am I? I've gone all this time and I haven't swore once. I was going to apologise at the start just in case I swore, but I'm doing really well. High five me. So I'm straining off my pasta for those that can hear me.
Yep.
Pretty loud, so it's pretty hard to unhear me. And then hopefully I've got my pasta back in the pot, but I've got it sitting in here now. Yep. And then my wonderful assistant is bringing back my food so we can do. So you don't all have your own assistant. You should be so jealous. Can I please have something put down so I don't burn your bench? No. That tea towel over there, please. Last thing you want to do is burn the bench.
Especially if it's someone else's.
Because it's not my bench and it's being taped. So there's no getting out of that one. All right. So we're back on with this. Everybody's up to scratch. Or am I going too fast? Sorry, I'm trying to make up for time because I talk so much.
That's okay. You've got 17 minutes.
I got 17 minutes. Woo! All right. So I'm turning this one back on to heat up. For those that are catching up, that's fine. It'll take this old girl a few little bits to heat back up. And then we're going to be putting through our pasta. Where's everyone at? How are we going? Shelley, you're just doing this. I can't even see you, just whipping it up so quick. I can't see anything happening. Look at that. I really want to see your dish at the end of this. So
I don't have a dish. I'm just watching because I'm too busy, but I wanted to learn from you.
Yeah.
Sharing all your stuff on Twitter and stuff. And so,
thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. I'm certainly no pro. I just love cooking, and I think it's important for all of us to know. My kids still call me now. When my daughter first moved out, she didn't even, like, seriously, she burns water. She burnt the pot because she's that person. And since moving out and, like, learning all those skills, she never had to at home because I was always cooking. I swear you're always 5 kilos heavier when you live at my house too. So like I said, I like my butter. But we're back on here. Everyone's up to date, yeah?
Yep. Are we putting our pasta in?
Yep. First, we're going to do our eggs. Everyone's got their eggs in their hand?
Yep, got it.
All right. Drop one in. Mix it around. Because this is your thickener. Drop the other one in. Not used to using this pan. It's going a bit eggy for me. Trial and error. Probably got it too hot. But the eggs, the natural thickener. Eggs and butter are great for that rather than having used flour. And another hack, if for those that were saying that the gluten-free or mentioned gluten-free is corn flour. I use that in everything because I find that it's too heavy for me. So once that's done and mixed in, we can put our pasta in mix that. Now the good hack here too is, like, you know, if it didn't work or it's too thick, see mine's a bit thick at the moment, is we have, where'd it go? Our extra carnation milk. Oh, we have that because mine's like gone nice and thick, but a bit too thick for my liking. So I'm going to be adding a little bit more in to thin it out again, just to make it nice and creamy because you want it to be a little bit more creamy. Cookies. I mean, they're separate.
We're just watching my feet.
You're watching your feet?
Oh, my dog is underfoot.
Oh, this is on your foot and not on your leg. He'll a little bit actually here.
He'll bite me.
And then this one here, we put a little bit of the cheese. I'm going to put a little bit more of that in. So in the end now, I've probably got about that much left in the bottle because I put a little bit, or the tin, a little bit more in to thicken that up. Thin it out, sorry. Who's eating this, by the way? No, I don't want to eat it. Like, when you can eat it. I'm eating the shortbread. So, all right. And this is like a voila moment. There's none I prepared earlier. There's no like ad break, and it's gonna just be all presented beautifully, but we're gonna do that ourselves now live. Just nice big. Oh, my portion size, as you can see, like, whoa. All right. And we've got our fresh spring onion here. Just put over the top. And voila. If you can see that, you've cooked yourself a lovely dish. So easy. And like I said, you can use any vegetable in that. More or less native thyme. That one's done.
Can I ask, could you put warrigal greens in?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, and warrigal greens would be awesome in that. You'd put in closer to the end. So okay. Yeah, so and give them a blanch, a quick wash and blanch, obviously. Yeah, with those ones there. Now,
when does the cheese go in, Sharon?
Cheese can go in on the top. I don't like to put in too much. Sorry, my cheese is sitting there. You could put a little bit in, or just a little. Oh, there we go. Voila, cheese on top. Now, my shortbread has made a little bit of a liar. I'll leave that one so you see it. a liar out of me because of a different oven and me not having my spoiledness of my combi. But my shortbreads are ready, and you want them still to be pale.
Oh, okay.
And they're still a little soft because we're not allowed to eat them now because it's too hot. But they'll look like so, and then we'll leave them sit. And so then basically once you've finished eating your delicious meal, you should be able to top that off with a cuppa and a shortbread. So that's your dessert. So mine are a little bit soft and they did spread a little, but so they're done. If yours are just turning color, see, I'll show you again. I'm not sure if you can see properly. See how they've just sort of got like a brown outer? Yeah. Oh, look at you go. Did yours work, Vicky?
Yes, but they spread quite a bit.
Mine did this time too.
Yes.
In the combi oven, I'm fortunate enough that they don't at all. But
Mine did spread.
They're still going to taste amazing.
Yeah, they do. I've already tasted it.
Yeah, they're just bigger now. But definitely let them sit for a bit so they hold their shape better. So, you know, because at the moment you'll find yours would have been hard to lift up then, Vicky. So they can sit there and cool and do their thing. And bon appetit, you can all eat.
Tess, my pasta is fantastic. That tastes amazing.
Oh, I'm glad you love it. Did you actually do it with the native thyme?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry about for those, like this is obviously a lesson learned for us. Like once we did it, I'm just thinking everyone's got this in their cupboard. Hey, if we keep this up and keep doing this, next year you all will have it in your cupboard, because that's the plan, Stan, is for us to all have it and be using it every day. The more we use it and the more we start actually looking for Indigenous suppliers, the better we'll grow and we'll grow together. And then we can all just like, I don't know. I just find it really, I don't know. It hits home a lot, like trying to help each other out with that. Because I went through a lot of struggles in my time and did things backwards, obviously losing my mum. So for me, once I found my way and started doing my thing, it was like, why wasn't I doing this sooner? This was like my savior, doing cooking and working with community and, you know, and getting out there and gaining that confidence was, I should have done that so much earlier. So I have a lot of regrets, but hey, then again, you know, it was a struggle losing mum. So it always makes me tear up, all these damn lights. That's what's tearing me up. But anyway, yeah, so I just think it's really important to be able to grow us. And I really do want to be part of that. Another thing for you is to look up too, sorry. I'm like that person that like butterfly, but the Bush Food Symposium, that's a collective. Like I had the honor of going to that and sitting with some incredible elders. And I tell you, that was an overwhelming feeling, sitting there amongst them and the knowledge that they have, but also trying to protect that knowledge, like just to keep it strong and to keep it with us. Like, you know, that people can come with their wineries and they can say, oh, I've got like 5 acres. If I grow lemon myrtle, will you buy it? And I go, no. They don't come back and be a customer, but that's okay. You know, they can go sell to someone else or buy their food somewhere else. Like I want to, nothing but honesty here. So, but yeah, if any of you guys are planning on growing or know anyone, yeah, pass them my way, because if we all grow together, we'll be stronger in the long run.
Yeah. Sharon, can you do more workshops? Like, can we do some more cooking?
I think I'm having a talk with a lovely lady here about doing some more, aren't I? Yeah.
Yes. More. It's awesome.
We'll see how today goes. And surprising, I don't know if it was the coffee or not. And I wasn't that nervous this time around. So last one I did one of these myself, and I got up extra early in the morning because I was too embarrassed to get my own granddaughter or a husband to film me for a Southeast water dish that I did. So I got up super early in the morning, probably looked even more like crap because it was like 4 a.m. or something, and did the Zoom, and it went out to about 400 people, but I was too embarrassed and nervous. And here I am, I've got like, I don't even know you. So okay. So we've done now. I'm going to get my hair done. I don't know if you notice it needs doing, but yeah, that's my next tip. But I think we've got a few. We've got Tessa coming over. Now's all the bits that I don't understand. Like I just cook.
Perfect. Thank you all for your questions and your interactions. We appreciate it so much. So now there's just some more questions for Sharon. So if you want to unmute yourself and ask any other further questions, feel free to do so now. We have about 2 minutes to do so. I know we've been asking a lot of questions during the session, but if you have any specific ones now, feel free to unmute yourself and speak.
And also I'll put out that I'm still learning, guys. Like this is a learning journey for me too. So I'm not going to know all the answers, but I'll definitely do my best. And if I don't know, I'll just bluff it and wing it anyway. No, if I don't know it, I'll just say I really don't know. But yeah, feel free, ask away. Is there email?
I don't know if mine are turned out properly.
If your what did, sorry?
The biscuits, could you show me what it's supposed to look like when it's out of the oven again? I think I stuffed mine up.
Oh yeah, they still taste great stuffed up, I tell you.
So it's not supposed to be like too brown or crisp. I think
no, not too brown. No, the brown tastes like when they cool, because when they cool, they it's a lot more buttery and creamy if they're less cooked. The more you cook it, the more you're cooking out that butter sort of.
Can you feed me? Can I show you my biscuit?
Yeah, go for it. I can't see you. How could I?
Does that look right?
Yeah, it's good.
I've got the
Looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. Do they feel they've got a little tiny bit of brownness to them? Yeah, look at you go. Master chef there.
Oh, I've never made anything like this before. My entire
kitchen now, like they
can't see it. There's flour everywhere.
Hey, it's not on your face, so come on, you're doing really well. It's on you. That's the trouble with having these things; they get in the way. Sorry to the boys out there. But all right, so we're all good now, are we? I wanted to thank VALS for having me on. Like, they had no idea how I was going to be. I had no idea how I was going to be. So I volunteered my time today, and they shared the not swearing. They shared the hell out of me, which made me so nervous. It was like I saw there was like a universe model, Miss Universe Australia, and I was like, oh my God, I was like swearing my head off at home. Like, yeah, it made me so nervous. But yeah, I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you. Yeah, I really appreciate you cooking along with me, and yeah, I hope we can do this again. So I'm going to give my chocolate to you guys to share. I mean, COVID safe, of course. That I leave that chocolate with you guys, and I'm going to leave all my mess, and I'm going to go get my hair done. But I'm going to hand back over here now. I made a mess.
Oh, it's been fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was great.
Thank you.
Obviously, and she's done such a great job. Yeah, we're so grateful to have you here, and we've actually got some flowers that we'd like to give you.
What girl doesn't like flowers, eh?
Yeah. So we'd just like to thank you for some flowers.
Thank you. You can all see my pretty flowers. You don't get them after your feed, only I do. Thank you.
And I'd just like to share with you a little bit about VALS and how you can help support us. If you'd like to support our work, you can go to vals.org.au and to the hashtag, /donate and make a financial contribution to our work. You can go to vals.org.au/contact and fill in the form if you'd like to become a volunteer or provide pro bono work to help our advocacy support. And you can follow us on social media. Obviously, Sharon said a lot about, Miss Universe Australia did a video promoting Sharon and VALS and this cooking class, which was unprecedented, and we're so grateful. We sent her a beautiful e-card because she was in hotel quarantine at the time, coming back from the pageant itself. So that was really, really great of her. So thank you again, Maria. So you can follow us at the VALS Mob on Instagram.
Oh, good.
Oh, and on Instagram, it's at Vic Aboriginal Legal Service, and we're also on Twitter as well. If you just search for VALS Victorian Aboriginal Legal Service, you'll be able to find us. If you'd like to share your experience about the cooking class on your socials, that would be really, really great. And if you could copy or tag Sharon and VALS, that would be really great as well, just so we can have a bit of a forum afterwards. I know that Tess and myself will be working on an edited video version, and we'll be uploading that to for everyone to see, and to see the amazing work Sharon did today, and just recap on anything that you missed. So that'll be coming out probably early next week once we have time to do the editing process. Is there any other questions?
Perfect. And about Cooee Cafe, the number one way to support them is going to the cafe in Mornington Peninsula. I have the address up there, so please take your time. Now lockdown is lifted in Melbourne, so please come down to the Mornington Peninsula to support Cooee. You can always go online, like Sharon has mentioned multiple times, to purchase her mob-owned products. And then also you can follow Cooee Cafe on Instagram and Facebook at Cooee Cafe. And yeah, that is the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for joining today, and hopefully you can enjoy the yummy food that Sharon has cooked today. And we hope to be doing another cooking class again shortly. So we'd love to have you all just keeping on contact with us through our socials so we can let you know about that event. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Bye.